All right, let's just get right into it. We're going to cut through all that noise you hear about marketing and really get to the core of what actually moves the needle for small businesses. So forget all those generic tips you've heard 1,000 times over. Today, we're talking about architecture.
No, really, just think about it for a second. The courses you've bought, the threads you've saved, the podcasts you've binged. You've probably watched dozens, maybe hundreds of people telling you the same old thing. Post consistently, run some ads, build a funnel, and yet, here you are, still searching for the answer. You know, the fact that you're still looking, that's not a coincidence. It's a signal. It's a huge signal that most of the advice out there isn't actually built for you. A lot of it is just corporate strategy, kind of shrunk down and repackaged for small businesses. And listen, following the wrong blueprint, even if you execute it perfectly, is just going to keep you stuck.
So let's really get to the heart of this thing. The issue isn't that you're not trying hard enough. You are not failing. The problem is structural. You might actually be building the wrong thing perfectly.
This right here, this frames the problem so well. The mistakes are baked into the structure, which is exactly why your results feel so random, right? You have a great month and then crickets, or you have a post that goes viral but brings in 0 clients. Your effort is being wasted because the foundation you're building on is just broken. This is the core idea for today. The problem isn't that you're not making enough content. It's the total absence of an intentional architecture, a clear, logical sequence behind every single thing that you do. Okay, so if the problem is a lack of sequence, well, the solution is to start thinking in sequences. We have to shift our entire mindset from volume to value. The industry is just obsessed with this idea that more is better. But the businesses that are really winning, they know that better is better. This table just perfectly illustrates that shift. We're moving away from that flawed blueprint on the left, the constant pressure for more content, posting everywhere, chasing virality. The winning architecture, over on the right, it focuses on better content, having a real presence somewhere specific, and building a reliable system. So a successful marketing sequence, it has 3 distinct, completely non-negotiable phases. First up is awareness, where people literally just find out you exist. Then comes authority, which is where they decide, is this person worth my trust? And only then, third, do you get to activation, where they finally take an action, like booking a call.
And this is where it all falls apart for so many businesses. They try to jam all 3 phases into one step. They're asking for the sale, that's activation, from someone who doesn't even know they exist. It's basically like shouting into an empty room, and it's exactly why so much marketing just feels completely ineffective.
Okay, so let's build the right architecture, starting with our first pillar, contextual visibility. And this isn't just about being seen, it's about being seen by the right person in the right mindset at the exact moment they are making a decision. All the outdated advice tells you, be everywhere. But when you spread yourself that thin across every single platform, you just end up creating average content everywhere. And let's be honest, in today's world, average content gets 0 attention. It is completely and utterly invisible. A much smarter approach is something we call signal concentration. Instead of being average everywhere, you become exceptional somewhere. For a lot of B2B service businesses, for example, that place is LinkedIn. Not for vanity metrics, but because that's where real professional decisions get made. You build depth there by sharing your perspective, not just your promotions. Okay, let's move on to the second pillar and see how this all starts to build on itself. Trust architecture. Think about the last time you hired someone. The decision wasn't really based on price, was it? Or a flashy website? It was based on trust. And that feeling of trust, it's not an accident. It can be, and it absolutely should be, engineered. A really strong trust architecture has 3 key layers. It all starts with super sharp positioning, so the right person feels like you're talking directly to them. Next, you have to demonstrate your thinking. You have to prove your expertise. And finally, that follow-up experience after they reach out, it has to be flawless to really solidify that trust. All right, on to our third and final pillar, which is widening the gap between businesses faster than almost anything else right now, AI leverage. But here's the thing, using it correctly requires making a really critical distinction. This slide is so important because it shows the right way and the wrong way to use AI. See on the left, the correct use is for infrastructure, things like automating scheduling, doing research, running analytics. The most dangerous mistake over on the right is automating your insight, letting AI write your strategy or define your voice. People can feel that hollowness a mile away, and it just destroys trust.
So the division of labor is actually pretty simple. You own the strategic thinking, the human insight. You let AI handle all the heavy lifting that supports it. If you get that right, you can honestly compete with a team 3 times your size. Okay, let's just step back for a second and look at the bigger picture here. These 3 pillars, contextual visibility, trust architecture, and AI leverage, they're really powerful on their own. But their true power, that gets unlocked when they all work together as a single system. See, one-off efforts, they just produce one-off results. They rely on emotion and inspiration. But a system is different. It's structural. It works on your good weeks and your bad weeks, and it builds and compounds over time, creating momentum that actually lasts. But for a system to really work, there's this hidden variable that almost nobody talks about. It's a specific mindset. It's this combination of having long-term patience with your strategy, but also having short-term precision in your execution. This quote just perfectly captures the goal. Authority and trust. They're not built in a week. The businesses that really win are the ones playing the long game. They get that they're building a valuable asset, their brand, their reputation, not just chasing some viral moment. And that asset, that becomes the most valuable thing you own. So, to quickly recap the key takeaways here. Always think in sequence before you think about volume. Focus on building deep trust before you start chasing wide reach. Own your unique insight and just use AI for infrastructure. And most importantly, commit to building a system, not just a series of random disconnected efforts. You know, the framework we've walked through today, it isn't about some secret hack or some fancy new technology. It's just a structural approach. It is simply clear thinking, applied with discipline, consistently over time. Any business can do this. And so I'll leave you with this one final question to really think about. Look at your own marketing activities and be honest with yourself. Are you strategically building a system that's going to compound over time? Or are you just keeping yourself busy with tasks that don't really lead anywhere? The answer to that question? Well, it changes everything.